The Sixth Crusade, 1228 to 1229, represents an extraordinary chapter in the history of the Crusades, setting itself apart from earlier ones by its almost complete absence of combat. It was led by the Emperor of the Holy Roman Empire, Frederick II of Swabia, a man of great political and cultural intelligence whose strategy proved innovative and, in a sense, more effective than arms themselves. While previous crusades had relied on brute force and military campaigns, the Sixth Crusade yielded an unexpected outcome that provoked mixed reactions among contemporaries. Frederick II, Emperor of the Holy Roman Empire and King of Sicily, was one of the most complex figures of the Middle Ages. Educated at the Sicilian court, where Christians, Muslims, and Jews coexisted, he spoke several languages and possessed a pragmatic, innovative political vision. In 1220, Frederick II was crowned emperor by Pope Honorius III, who urged him to fulfill his promise to lead a crusade to reconquer Jerusalem. However, the emperor was more preoccupied with the internal affairs of his empire, consolidating power in Germany and Sicily, managing conflicts with the nobles, and controlling the Italian cities. In 1225, he married Isabella II of Jerusalem, daughter of John of Brienne, thereby acquiring a dynastic right to the Kingdom of Jerusalem. This strengthened his position, but, in theory, also obliged him to act for the reconquest of the Holy City. Nevertheless, Frederick continued to postpone his departure, provoking the ire of Pope Gregory IX, who, in 1227, excommunicated him for failing to keep his crusade promise. Despite this, Frederick decided to set out anyway, marking the beginning of the Sixth Crusade. Frederick II's diplomatic crusade. Frederick II set sail from Brindisi in 1228, but unlike previous crusades, his expedition did not comprise a large army. Because of his papal excommunication, many European princes refused to follow him, and even some Templar and Hospitaller knights remained wary. Nevertheless, the emperor relied on a different strategy. Instead of depending on arms, he turned to diplomacy. His principal interlocutor was Al-Kamil, the Ayyubid Sultan of Egypt, the very same man who had defeated the Fifth Crusade a few years earlier. However, the Muslim political situation had changed. Al-Kamil, though a powerful ruler, was under pressure due to internal family rivalries and threats from the east. Frederick II skillfully exploited this situation, leveraging the tensions between Al-Kamil and the other Ayyubid princes to secure a favorable agreement without the need for combat. After months of negotiations, in February 1229, Frederick II and Al-Kamil signed the Treaty of Jaffa. The terms of the agreement were extraordinary. Jerusalem, Bethlehem, and Nazareth were ceded to the Crusaders, allowing Christians to return to the holy sites. The walls of Jerusalem could not be rebuilt, ensuring that the city would not become a military fortress. The Haram al-Sharif, Temple Mount area, and the Dome of the Rock remained under Muslim control, with Muslims retaining the right to continue worshiping at their sacred sites. A 10-year truce was established between Christians and Muslims, ensuring relative peace in the region. The outcome was incredible. For the first time, a crusade achieved its aim without the shedding of blood. Self-coronation in Jerusalem and tensions with the papacy, Frederick II, entered Jerusalem on February 11, 1229, and went to the Church of the Holy Sepulchre. However, because of his excommunication, no Catholic clergyman was willing to crown him King of Jerusalem. To overcome this obstacle, Frederick took the crown and placed it upon his own head, a gesture that many viewed as a sign of arrogance and defiance against the papacy. Meanwhile, Pope Gregory IX, enraged by the independence displayed by the emperor, declared that the crusade was invalid and, paradoxically, organized an expedition against Frederick II in Italy. The emperor was forced to leave the Holy Land and return to Europe to defend his domains. The consequences of the Sixth Crusade, a strategic success and a political failure. In practical terms, the Sixth Crusade was a success. Jerusalem was restored to the Christians, and Frederick II demonstrated that diplomacy could achieve what previous wars had failed to secure. However, his victory was overshadowed by papal excommunication and the lack of support from other Christian monarchs. Many crusaders, especially the Templars and Hospitallers, regarded the treaty as a disgrace because it left the Muslims in control of the most important sacred sites for Islam. Moreover, some Christians residing in the Holy Land feared that the city, without its defensive walls, would be vulnerable to future attacks. The decline of Crusader enthusiasm. The Sixth Crusade marked a turning point in the crusading movement. Whereas earlier expeditions had been characterized by religious fervor and papal backing, this crusade demonstrated that the conflict between the emperor and the pope was undermining the unity of the Christian world. The effectiveness of Frederick II's diplomacy challenged the entire model of traditional crusades, which had until then relied primarily on military might. However, his treaty proved short-lived. In 1244, Jerusalem was once again conquered by the Muslims, ending its brief period of Christian rule. A crusade unlike any other. The Sixth Crusade was unique in history. Instead of being marked by epic battles, massacres, and sieges, it ended with a victory achieved through diplomacy. Frederick II demonstrated that it was possible to reconquer territories without resorting to arms, yet his accomplishment was not fully recognized by the Christian world precisely because it did not conform to the traditional ideals of holy war. Ironically, his success became his downfall. While other crusaders returned from their expeditions glorified, Frederick was ostracized by the Pope and the military orders, illustrating that the politics of the time were far more complex than a simple struggle between Christians and Muslims. Today, the Sixth Crusade stands as an extraordinary example of how diplomacy can be as powerful as the sword when wielded with skill and intelligence.